Hey there, WorldLit students. You have a beefy assignment sheet for your final, so we're going to take this video to talk through some of the main ideas as well as go through how to get started and what to focus on. So I am in Unit 10, Section C, and I am in the Final Project Assignment folder. I've gone ahead and added a Google folder here to kind of help organize some of the handouts a little bit more. In this folder, you'll find the assignment sheet, the essay rubric, and you will also find the presentation rubric that will be added shortly. So once you open up the assignment sheet, and you can go ahead and pop it out, which will then kind of open it up into your drive. So, the Hero Rises assignment. This is really a three-part final of a digital presentation that you're creating to showcase your character, an essay that supports and discusses your main ideas and thoughts on hero struggle, and as well as a presentation. So, the top of this assignment sheet, the digital presentation, should look pretty familiar. We did a lot of these in class with your superheroes. So you're going to create using Prezi, Google Sites, Wix, or Weebly the backstory, origin, the qualities, the motivation, so what drives the character and their environment, the modus operandi, how they do things and how things get done, their name and identity, and finally the symbols, uniform, armor, trademark. You might have one of these four, you might have all four, but somewhere in between. You can organize this in your presentation however that makes sense to you. So maybe the name and identity you want to go first. That's great. Go ahead and make a big note here. This is a new information for you. You don't have to create a superhero, right? We have many normal heroes that exist in media, and they might possess an extraordinary quality that makes them a hero. The one thing to keep in mind in this section, that if you give a shield to your character as one of their main armor or pieces of weaponry, why is the shield relevant? So for example, Captain America, right? He's a defender. People force him to attack. His main identity is the protector. He's looking out for the ordinary people. So his shield is an important weapon. He doesn't have a sword. Another example with Batman, right? Why a bat? There's some information there for you as well. And then to kind of look at more of an ordinary individual, an ordinary character, Katniss Everdeen, right? Her symbol or trademark could be the hand signal from the movies, her bow, maybe the whistle, and all those symbol kind of her power of being a rebel, being defiant, and ultimately her leadership, right? Her strong emotional leadership and her ability to actually take action within that leadership. So for the first part of your assignment, the hero, make sure that you're writing enough and including enough detail that explains and that the reader can understand. I'm not expecting novels for each one of these slides. Make sure that you are showing your understanding of word choice and fluency as well. So how is the hero's journey going to fit into this? Now that you know who your character is, you can start mapping out their heroic journey. We've talked a lot about hero's journey this semester, and you're going to see common things keep popping up. You can go back and review the TED Ed video we watched. You can look at some of the handouts I've given you. But what will probably be most helpful is visualizing your hero's journey in these 12 steps. So you are literally going to plot out and create a journey for your hero. What's going to be their ordinary world? What's going to drag them into the adventure? Are they going to refuse it? What's the refusal look like? And then so on and so forth. I've also included examples of these heroes' journey. You're going to find Finding Nemo and Wizard of Oz here to kind of give you an idea for what that looks like. Basically, what I need to see is your understanding of those steps. They should be original, but they should fit the mold and fit the archetype. And there's a number of ways you can do this. Cartoon, you can do that. You could include, a different way of organizing it in your own website with the organization by the four main chunks and then the steps within inside it. You can make images. You can find images on the internet and then, of course, cite them and then add words to complement them. And then you can, of course, just write these out in a way that makes sense. What I need to see is each of those steps. Make sure that you don't just give me a picture for call to action, right? I need the description of what's happening. And it's not a short story, but you're plotting out what's going on. So again, don't need to have essays for each one of those pieces. Just give me enough detail that I understand what's going on. If you want to look at an example, I've got some right here for you, and you can see that using Finding Nemo and the Wizard of Oz novel. All right, moving forward. Digital presentation in total is worth 60 points. You will lose points if you have copious spelling errors, grammar issues, or convention issues. You should think back to other presentations that we've done in class and how to utilize text, images, pictures, font, and just kind of that overall strong design so it's logical and makes sense. A lot of you are very creative and have a great sense for those things. More info here as well, and like what to be citing for, and some more understanding of archetypes here as well. So make sure that you are combing through the assignment sheet quite closely. There are a lot of links out for more resources here. So the essay. The essay should be 2 to 3 pages, and it will accompany your digital presentation with a thesis statement that responds to the following. So here's your main prompt, and here's what I'm looking for. How does the struggle of heroes or your hero relate to the struggle within ourselves? Use evidence and examples from your character, media, and your own life. And note that that's underlined. That's primarily what I'm looking for, is we have these heroes, we have these villains, we know that it exists across every culture, history, time, space, but so what? So what you're going to be doing here is explaining how your hero has a struggle that maybe the ordinary people in the world face, ordinary things that you have faced, and why that matters. If you did not read the article from the weekly warm-up, you are probably confused about this question. Go back and read that question, go back and look at the weekly warm-up, complete it, put it in your notebook so you know what's going on. About this essay. I really created this prompt so that you can take it where you want to go. There's really not going to be a wrong answer to that question as long as you are well supported and explain your ideas completely. You will want to think about what are the struggles in my own life, what are the struggles that people experience, and how does that come back to heroes. One approach you could take is maybe you create a hero that's an alter ego version of yourself that deals with a struggle that you've had or that you've had to overcome. Again, go back to the article we read this week. What I would do if I was you is start with a 5-paragraph essay. What's my main claim? What are 3 ways I can back it up? And go from there. You will earn points through full high school paragraphs that support and examine ideas with commentary. And hey, look at that, a rubric. That rubric will look pretty familiar from previous assignments, so make sure that you take time to look at how your essay will be assessed. Other things to note, that your essay should be in MLA format, 1-inch margins, double-spaced, so 2-3 pages double-spaced, a heading and a title, as well as any in-text or parenthetical citations if you use them. What is probably going to be your first step is you want to figure out, what am I talking about and how am I going to support the struggle within ourselves? How do heroes do that? What is the struggle that I have? Maybe it's a bigger thing you want to focus on. Maybe you really want to zoom in on a specific aspect. It's up to you. What I would do is maybe send me an email with your thesis statement just to kind of get a green light and make sure that you're on the right track. Think about the novels and stories we've already read this year that comes back to the struggle within ourselves. What do our heroes in all of our books, our novels, poems, TV shows, movies, what do they have? Moving down, your finals week presentation. Your 2 to 3 minute presentation will present your thesis and your character. I've given you a few talking points to focus on. So your 2 to 3 minutes should include an introduction of yourself. Hi, my name is Ms. Stevens and I am focusing on blank. So introduction of yourself and your complete thesis. And then you're going to explain to us your character and hero and what's the main struggle they overcome through their hero's journey. You'll choose 2 to 3 highlights of the hero's journey, and you'll be taking us through that presentation on the smartboard, so know ahead of time what pieces you want to focus on. And then your conclusion of your presentation will include a final thought about heroes, why they matter, what the struggle matters, and maybe if you would agree or disagree with these bigger things and how they appear in literature. You could also give a final thought on what world literature has shown you or taught you this year. Big note here, you are not creating a second digital presentation, but you're using your presentation from the first part and making highlights from it. So know what you want to highlight and what you'll show on the board. Okay, so in conclusion, what should you be working on today? You should be determining the struggle that your hero has and how it's going to impact them. Start sketching out your hero's background. This should not be the same character that we made in class with your writing teams. It can exist in the same universe though, but cannot be the same character. Planning is going to be a major thing to focus on so that you know where you're going. Start with your brainstorming, planning, drafting, and final revision. Go ahead and make sure that you have your digital shell created this week. Prezi, website, whatever it's going to be. And I would strongly encourage you to type up any writing you do in a Google Doc and then copy it into your digital presentation. A few final resources here at the bottom to get you looking at kind of superheroes around the world. A really very, very helpful archetypes handout that I'd like you to look at, especially for inspiration. And then one more graphic to kind of give you that full understanding of hero's journey. If you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me an email, send me your thesis statement, tell me about your claim. If you're struggling with anything, let's bounce ideas back and forth, whatever you need to do your best on this assignment. Remember to check the rubric for the essay, comb through past information, comb through other handouts, and again, just do your very best. I'm really excited with where you're going to take this character. Have a fabulous day.